Hey guys, it's Don Laron from Santa Clarita, California. Today we're at the Todd Longshore Park. It's a nice park. It's overlooking Canyon Country. We have a different vantage view of Santa Clarita. And today we're going to talk to Heidi Amores. She is a pop-up or an event organizer. She can give us a better idea what is her type of business is, and maybe some advice to people who are interested with this type of business, maybe as a vendor or as an organizer. So let's hear from Heidi. Okay, Heidi, can you give us a brief description of what is a pop-up event?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Heidi. I am the admin of the 661 pop-up page, both on Facebook and Instagram. I created 661 pop-up shop to help small business owners and new and seasoned vendors in Santa Clarita Valley, San Fernando Valley, Antelope Valley, LA, pretty much anywhere in Southern California. We usually are a group of vendors that are available for a certain day, typically on a Saturday. We meet up on one location and we sell our merchandise. So in a pop-up event, depending on the host, we will have up to maybe 4, maybe 6 and up vendors, and just, and have fun, meet each other, network as well, meet new clients, and after that event, we coordinate to see when our next event would be. And that's why it's called pop-ups, because it's not in one location. It depends on host availability on where it would be, and an ideal time on when we can host an event as well.
That's a very good description of what is it that you're doing. Now, how did you come about with doing this type of business? What led you into this type of business?
Well, my side hustle, I work full-time Monday to Thursday. As a side hustle, I sell paparazzi jewelry accessories. We started June 2020 in the middle of a pandemic as a small business owner, and yes, we do consider it a small business. We wanted to accumulate our inventory first before we start selling either live on Facebook or in person. But because of the pandemic, we couldn't do that at that time. We started actively selling our inventory end of December 2020. The thing was, all these events have already been booked, and with paparazzi, there can only be one jewelry vendor at an event. So whenever I apply and ask them, hi, do you have a space for a paparazzi rep? My answer is always 99% no. We already have a paparazzi vendor, or we have one too many vendors. So what I started doing was selling in the swap meet. We got our seller's permit, and we started selling actively every Sundays in the Saugus Speedway, the swap meet. And I've been thinking about it. I attended one more pop-up event, and I realized I can do this myself. I can create a group of vendors, and whoever can have a space in their front yard, driveway, side yard, backyard, if they were willing to host, we can have a multi-vendor event. So we did create a group, and things, their goals versus my goals or vision for the pop-up, we kind of went our separate ways. And I met a friend in a previous pop-up who was encouraging me to sell at the swap meet, to do my pop-ups, and she was hosting her first. And so I said, hey, let me help. Can I be a vendor in your event? I want to learn from you. And so I've watched her, how she does it, how her mom helps her do it. And I said, okay, it's not that hard. I can venture out on my own and do this myself.
Who is this lady?
Her name is Christina Alvarez.
Shout out to Christina Alvarez.
Hi,
then.
Christina. I consider her my friend and my mentor. I hope it's the same that she considers me her friend. But everything I do from that day forward, I owe it all to her. And I will always support her pop-ups and her vendors. I will always, comment on their photos and stuff like that for exposure. Facebook algorithm, as most people say it. Um, but one day in March, I met Pam Roberts of Pamtastic Nails. Hi, Pam. She's a color street stylist, and she approached me in my booth at the swap meet. And I told her about, hey, I am starting a group of vendors. I'm looking for founding vendors of 661 Pop-Up Shop. Would you be interested in being a vendor and helping me find hosts? And she said, well, I have a big house in Simi Valley. I can feed about 13 vendors. And we organized and hosted our first successful pop-up last April 24th in Simi Valley.
Achievement.
It took months, but we got there.
So, Heidi, so having done this event, do you have any advice to vendors, or maybe someone who's trying to look into organizing the same event? I know it's going to be competition, but you're trying to help out someone. So, do you have any advice?
Well, you mentioned competition. There's really no competition because there are so many of us vendors that need an outlet to sell. Especially, we're at the tail end of the pandemic and a lot of people lost their retail spaces, whatnot. So there's no competition as to which group has better vendors or which group has more visibility on Facebook, Instagram, Nextdoor. There's no competition on who has many contacts, 3,000 contacts, one contact. We're all vendors. We are all just looking to sell our merchandise. But as far as joining vendor events, from my own personal experience, it is easier to have your seller's permit. Some locations will require a seller's permit when you complete your application forms or your vendor interest forms. It's on there. If you're going to join a bigger event in a city-owned space, that is the first thing that they will ask you is for your seller's permit. If you're a food vendor, do you have your health permit from the appropriate departments?
Quickly, what is a reseller's permit?
It is issued by the State Department Tax Administration, Business Tax Administration. It just basically tells the state, like, hey, they're a valid seller. They have valid goods that you can sell.
Is it something that you can easily get?
Yes, you can
online,
get that on the Franchise Tax Board website, and you can download the PDF as well. But do talk to your accountant because there are sales tax filings at the end of the year or quarter that's involved in that. So it depends on your business as well. But there are a lot of resources out there for vendors and direct sales reps for that.
How about insurance requirements? Are there any insurance requirements?
For direct sellers, no. I mean, most small business owners already have business insurance. I do recommend having one. If you join pop-up events like this, wind knocks out your inventory, or jars tents fly onto the next tent, you are liable to be sued. But if you're covered with insurance, then you're fine. If you're hosting your own pop-up event, you can just call your home insurance company, homeowners insurance company, and tell them you're hosting an event and you'd like that event covered for that day, and they'll help you out with that.
Good answer. I think that's a very comprehensive answer that should be able to help someone with questions like this, maybe come up with a decision, a sound decision, whether to go with this type of business. Mm-hmm. So Heidi, what is there something that you feel that makes you a little bit different from the usual organizers? Something that you have done that maybe help someone to decide whether or not to go with your group?
Okay. For me, I like to put my personal touch on things. So when you contact me through the Instagram page or the Facebook page, the 661 Pop-Up Shop, I will always respond saying, hi, my name is Heidi, or hello, I'm sorry for the late response. Like I said previously, I work full-time as well, so I can get to all the messages right away or the comments. So, but number one, I will reply whether it's on time or a little bit late, and I will always introduce myself to you. And you're more than welcome to look at my Facebook profiles, Instagram profiles. So that's one. Two, I will be there every step of the way with you. If this is your first vendor event and you have questions, you can ask me anytime, and I will answer. Um, Second, if I have extra supplies that you will need, you don't have a tent, you don't have a table, you don't have a tablecloth, this is what this group is for. Our goal, or our vision for 661 Pop-Up Shop is not just to have a space to sell on a Saturday or have an event on a Saturday. It's also to meet new people, gather, have new connections, network connections as well. And maybe eventually you can branch out and start organizing your own pop-ups. So I'm not going to hold on to you forever. After one or two pop-ups and you decide, hey, I want to do this, can you help me, can you coach me on how to do this? I will be there for you. This is not just a pop-up so we can park here, sell here. This is a learning experience as well.
Good answer, Heidi. I love it. Okay, so we're about to wrap up.